TRX Pike single leg level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf length. You'll be on the ground facing away from the anchor point, both feet in the foot cradles, toes in. For level 1, the focus is on perfecting the double leg pike. From a hands and knees position, extend the legs out, hit a strong plank, pull the toes towards the shins, drive the hips up over the head and shoulders with control, back down to a plank. If needed, touch the knees down between repetitions to ensure good form, progressing to a continuous pike. TRX Pike single leg level 2. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf height and place in single handle mode. Be on the ground facing away from the anchor point, 1 foot in the foot cradle, toes in position. Start from a hands and knees position. Extend both legs back, unsuspended leg mirroring the suspended leg. Performing a pike, bringing your knees down between each repetition. Bringing your knees down between each repetition to ensure good form. The single leg version forces the hips, core, and shoulders to resist rotation throughout the movement, providing a greater resistance challenge. TRX Pike single leg level 3. Level 3 is performed similar to level 2 without the knee down rest between each repetition. The goal here is to maintain good form, a strong plank, up to a single leg pike, down under control to the plank, completing as many repetitions as you can without resting, adding an isometric hold to the plank and to the top of the pike is an additional way to add strength and intensity to this exercise. The slower and more controlled you can perform this exercise, the better improvements in strength. The faster, the more conditioning the effect. TRX Plank level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf level. You'll be on the ground facing away from the anchor point, toes in. In this 6-point plank, the focus is on an active core. Your knees will remain on the ground, shoulders pulled down and back, and actively engage those core muscles, looking for a straight line from the shoulders, hips, and knees. This level 1 progression is an easy access to level 2 and 3. Shoulders come down and back first, engage the core, knees remain on the ground, finding that active plank. Let the contraction drive the movement, not movement driving the contraction. TRX Plank level 2. Level 2 is easily accessible from level 1. Start with knees down, shoulders pulled down and back into a strong active plank. Breathe normally with an engaged core, and then extend the legs up for a solid plank with elbows below the shoulders, the standard being ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankle in a straight line. Hold for the required period of time. Come down and rest by touching your knees to the ground, maintaining a good plank in your core. TRX Plank level 3. For level 3, the standards remain the same. The conditions change by doing this from your hands. Start with straight line, shoulders, hips, knees, with knees touching the ground. Engage the core, pull the shoulders down and back. Extend the legs up into a strong plank. Keep those shoulders pulled down and back away from your ears. Active core. Every time you exhale, engage that core a little bit more. Come down and rest by knees touching the ground. TRX Plank Press level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf length. Start on the ground facing away from the anchor point, toes in. Start with elbows underneath shoulders in a standard forearm plank position. And then one arm at a time, extend those elbows, bring yourself up to a hand plank and lowering yourself back down. The focus here is in maintaining that standard of the plank as the body comes up and down, being able to manage those forces in all 3 planes of motion. TRX Plank Press level 2. This level is a combination of a body saw and a plank press for great core strength and shoulder and arm strength. Start from a plank on your forearms, bringing yourself up, engaging the core. Drive yourself back towards the anchor point, and then use the momentum to extend up into a plank press by extending both elbows at the same time. Focus on keeping the shoulders pulled down and back the entire time, and the standard of your plank, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, engaged throughout the movement. TRX Plank Press Level 3. On this level, you'll remove the momentum from the body saw, and the plank press will require strong shoulder stability, arm strength, integrated with the core strength you developed up to this point. Start from a strong plank on your forearms, engage your lats, and extend through your elbows by driving into your triceps. Hands get heavy into the ground, and press yourself up from a plank position. Slow and controlled up, slow and controlled down. This becomes a grinding motion that has you integrate full body stability. TRX Power Pull, Level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-length and place in single handle mode. Stand facing the anchor point, holding the handle in one hand. Start with a tall posture, body engaged. Treat this single arm rowing motion as a moving plank, resisting rotation, not letting your shoulders tilt or your hips tilt as you lower yourself down. Engage the core and the shoulder girdle, pulling yourself up. Level 1 is a single arm row, teaching core control, resisting rotation. Initiate each row with shoulder coming down and back, finishing with the elbow. TRX Power Pull, Level 2. Once you have mastered the single arm row with no rotation, increase the range of motion by rotating through the shoulders, reaching up the straps with the unsupported hand. Engage the core, lower yourself down and back, turning the shoulders and the hips as you lower. Initiating the movement by pulling the arm down and back, holding the suspension trainer. Continue to consider this movement as a moving plank with added rotation. TRX Power Pull, Level 3. A partner assist in this exercise will increase the resistance of the movement. Perform Level 3 just as you did with Level 2. Having a partner provide the appropriate manual resistance, forcing you down to the eccentric phase of the exercise, only providing as much resistance as needed for you to control the movement. TRX Pull Press Level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to fully lengthened. Start by sitting on the ground with a straight back, feet about 12 inches from your hips, leaning back, looking at the anchor point. You're going to initiate this movement with a row with the arms, and then push through onto a tricep press. Lower yourself back under control till the hips are on the ground, arms fully lengthened. Keep tension on the suspension trainer the entire time, pulling your body up to a row and then pressing through with your triceps, and then down under control, letting your hips rest on the ground. TRX Pull Press Level 2. On this level, one leg will be fully extended with the opposite toes at the knee level. You'll perform this exercise the same way as in Level 1. You'll be able to give yourself added resistance with that straight leg. Pull your chest up and through, and then shift some weight onto that straight leg as you extend through those triceps. Think of yourself as pulling up onto a small ledge. You'll notice your core stays engaged and the same bend at your hip remains throughout the exercise. Keep high tension on the suspension trainer the entire time. TRX Pull Press Level 3. On this level, you'll adjust the length of the suspension trainer to mid-length, giving you a steeper angle to work through. Start with a straight back, one leg extended. Start the exercise the same way, pulling your hands towards your chest in a rowing motion, and then driving powerfully up and through by bringing your head to the other side of the anchor point and extending through those triceps. Keep tension on the suspension trainer the entire time, and lower yourself back to the ground under control, returning back and through with as much speed and power as you can control. TRX pull-up level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to over-shortened position. Sit on the ground directly underneath the anchor point, holding onto both handles, knees bent, back straight. Initiate the movement by pulling the shoulders down and back, using your legs as a self spot. Keep the core engaged, back stiff, driving as much as you can through the back. TRX pull-up level 2. From the same starting position here, extend the knees fully so legs are straight, head directly underneath anchor point. Perform the pull-up, initiating from the back, finishing with the arms, extending the hips as you come up. Keep core engaged throughout the exercise, spotting yourself by extending through the hips. TRX pull-up level 3. For this full pull-up, start with your legs extended out in front of you, head beneath anchor point. Cross your legs, squeeze your legs together. Initiate the movement with a strong core, pulling your shoulders down and back, and completing the pull-up with hips bent, lowering yourself to the ground, resetting before every repetition. As your fitness and your strength improves, you can over-shorten the suspension trainer even more to be able to perform continuous pull-ups from this position. TRX resisted torso rotation level 1. Adjust suspension trainer to mid-length and place in single handle mode. Stand sideways to the anchor point, inside leg forward, outside leg back in an offset foot position. Grasp with the outside hand first, covering with the inside hand, bringing both hands to the center of the chest. With a strong core, rotate your shoulders towards the anchor point, extend your arms, and return back to starting position with long arms. Reach down, forming a triangle with your arms and chest. Rotate that triangle back to the top. Bring hands into your chest, lower and control. Do not let hips sag. Maintain strong plank throughout the exercise. TRX resisted torso rotation level 2. From the same setup position, pull the shoulders down and back, engage the core, extend your arms straight out in front of you, forming a triangle with your arms and your chest. Lower yourself under control, slowly resisting the rotation. Bring your hands to your chest, pulling yourself up in a rowing position to start. Extend the arms back out. Lower under control, not letting the hips sag away from the anchor point. Engage the core, resist rotation, moving from the shoulders and the hips. TRX resisted torso rotation, level 3. Starting from the same position you did in level 1 and 2, shoulders down and back, arms stay fully extended in front of the chest throughout the exercise. Engage the core, keep stiffness in the arms and the torso, lower yourself down under control, drive your hands back to starting position, keeping stiffness in the core throughout the exercise, rotating from the shoulders and the hips, controlling the descent, driving yourself back to starting position with strength and power. TRX row series, low, medium, and high, level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to fully shortened. The focus of level 1 is the low row, feet slightly in front of the hands, the appropriate vector. Initiate the movement by pulling the shoulders down and back and finishing with the arms. Focus on a strong core, and this being a moving plank exercise. The low row is the foundation for all the rowing exercises. TRX row series, low, medium, and high, level 2. Level 2 will integrate different pulling motions from a comfortable vector or body angle. The first movement will start as the low row, the body planked up, shoulders pulled down and back. Perform one low row, one medium row, elbows come out to about 45-degree angle, one high row, elbows as high as the shoulders, returning back to the low row. Once again, the focus is on a moving plank, core stability, with different pulling patterns for the shoulders, back, and arms. TRX Row Series Low, Medium, and High, Level 3. This level takes the same movement patterns and initiation developed in Level 2, increases the challenge by giving you more resistance with a deeper vector or body angle. Walking your feet towards the anchor point will increase the load of these movements. As you move through the set, if you start to fatigue, take a step away from the anchor point. The focus is on the quality of the movement here, body remaining planked, movement initiating with shoulders being pulled down and back, and finishing with elbow flexion. Focus again on a moving plank, tight core, strong shoulders. TRX Side Lunge, Level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-length. Stand facing the anchor point, feet wide, elbows bent directly underneath shoulders, hips fully extended. The focus of this exercise is mobility and strength. Unload as much of your weight in the suspension trainer as you need to. Lower down to each side at a time, keeping the trail leg nice and straight. Feet stay flat on the floor, driving back to standing by working through the hip and leg. TRX Side Lunge, Level 2. This level, you'll start with your legs together, elbows bent right underneath the shoulders, and you'll step out into the side lunge exercise. The focus here is driving yourself away from that straight leg, down into that bent leg. So you're pushing from the leg that stays still and decelerating, engaging, and driving back to standing with the leg that's bending. Keep the torso nice and tall, spine straight, and unload only as much of your weight into the suspension trainer as you need. TRX Side Lunge, Level 3. This level will incorporate an additional stability and strength challenge with a great combo exercise. Start Level 3 the same way as you start Level 2. From a nice standing posture, hips fully extended, step out to one side, trail leg stays straight, then that trail leg becomes the leg for the single leg squat. Lunge out to one side, dropping those hips down, creating mobility into the hips, returning by driving from that bent leg back to the stable leg to a single leg squat. Work one side at a time. TRX Side Plank, Level 1. For Level 1, you'll be in a stable environment, not using the suspension trainer, but adopting a side plank position on the ground, elbow directly underneath shoulder, torso nice and tall, hips fully extended, one foot stacked on top of the other. Bring yourself up into a strong side plank with an active core, keeping the grounded elbow underneath the shoulder, breathing, not letting your hips sag, letting the standard be chin to sternum to zipper line all the way down. TRX Side Plank, Level 2. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf length. Go toes in with your top leg in front of your bottom leg and top heel pushing into bottom toe. On a ground sideways or side lying position, bring yourself up to a side plank using your top hand to assist. Keep that elbow underneath the shoulders, fully engage the core, extend through the hips, breathe normally, control the sway from the suspension trainer. TRX Side Plank, Level 3. Starting from the same position from Level 2, ground sideways or side lying, top foot in front of bottom foot, top heel driving into bottom toe. Bring yourself up into a strong side plank position, then perform a series of controlled hip drops, slow and controlled down, coming up, hitting a strong side plank, and then repeating. TRX Side Plank, single leg, Level 1. Level 1 is performed off the suspension trainer in a side lying position, top foot stacked on top of bottom foot, torso nice and long, hips fully extended, knees fully extended. Bring yourself up to a side plank on your forearm, lifting your top leg off your bottom leg, maintaining good core stability and extension through the hips. TRX Side Plank, single leg, Level 2. Put the suspension trainer into single handle mode and adjust it to mid-calf length. Have only your bottom foot through the foot cradle. From a ground sideways position or side lying position, use your top arm to assist to bring yourself up into a side plank. Have hips fully extended, elbow directly underneath shoulders, straight line from chin, sternum to zipper line. TRX side plank, single leg, level 3. Starting from the same position you did with level 2, single handle mode, bottom foot in through the foot cradle. Bring yourself up into a strong side plank position and drive that top unsuspended leg up into a knee up, toe up position. As you bring that knee towards the chest, do not let the hips drop, do not let the spine bend. TRX side plank with knee tuck, level 1. Level 1 is performed on the ground, off the suspension trainer. Take a side lying or side plank position, elbow directly underneath shoulder, top leg stacked on top of bottom leg. Hips come up into a strong side plank, chin, chest, zipper line in line. Top leg comes up in a knee up, toe up position. Hips go down, rest between each repetition. Bottom leg remains extended through the hip and knee throughout the exercise. TRX side plank with knee tuck, level 2. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf length and place in single handle mode. Place your bottom foot in the foot cradle in a side lying position, elbow directly underneath shoulder. Use the top hand to assist yourself up to a side plank position. Bring the unsuspended leg on top of the suspended leg, using the core to resist rotation and become stable in a single leg side plank position. TRX side plank with knee tuck, level 3. In this level, the bottom leg will remain in the suspension trainer. You'll use the top hand to assist yourself up to a strong side plank position, elbow directly underneath shoulder, core fully engaged, bottom leg extended and hip extended. You'll tuck the knee up, driving the knee at least to hip height, maintaining full extension in the bottom hip throughout the exercise. TRX single arm row, level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-length and in single handle mode. Stand facing the anchor point, hold the handle in one hand, and adopt an offset foot position with your feet. Lower yourself down into a single arm row, not letting your shoulders or hips rotate, using the back leg in the offset foot position to self-spot you. The focus here is resisting rotation and moving as a plank with a single arm pulling pattern. TRX single arm row, level 2. In this level, your feet are together. Without the offset foot position, there is more of a rotational force for you to resist. Start from a pulled in position, tall posture, body planked. Lower down into the single arm row, resisting rotation, not letting your shoulders turn, not letting your hips turn, initiating the movement by that shoulder coming down and back, and finishing with the elbow. Focus on core resisting rotation. TRX single arm row, level 3. Adjust the suspension trainer to an over-shortened position, bend your knees, and assume an inverted single arm row position, or as deep as you can handle. The standard remains the same. Resist rotation in the core. Do not let the shoulders rotate or hips rotate. Keep the body moving as a plank. If you need to come all the way to the ground and rest between reps, that is fine. TRX single leg hip hinge. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-length. Stand facing the anchor point, arms extended in front of the body about mid-torso level. Tension on the suspension trainer the entire time. Lift one leg straight behind you as you drive your torso forward. Maintain tension on the suspension trainer the entire time. Looking to reach back with the lifted leg. Torso stays flat. Hip should be slightly behind the ankle in the bottom position. Return to the starting position and alternate legs. The lifting leg should drive a straight torso down. Arms should remain extended. Head drops between the arms. A common mistake is to have the leg drop before the torso rises. You want the leg lifting to drive the torso down. At the bottom, re-engage that leg. Let the leg drive down, bring the torso up together as one unit. Focus on a stretch in the down hamstring and stability in the core throughout the exercise. TRX Spider-Man push-up level 1. Adjust the suspension trainer to mid-calf length, place in single handle mode. Start on the ground facing away from the anchor point, left foot in the foot cradle, toes in, right foot on the ground in a strong push-up position. As you lower down into the push-up, bend the right hip, bringing the right knee out to the side and towards the right elbow, touching, having the toe touch down on the ground at the bottom of the push-up and the top of the push-up. Use the moving leg as a spot as needed, creating mobility in the hip and strength in the chest and core. TRX Spider-Man push-up level 2. On this level, you'll start the same way. Strong core, shoulders pulled down and back. As you lower into the push-up, the free leg, unsupported leg, will drive up towards the elbow, but on this level, the foot will not touch at the bottom of the push-up, only at the top. Lower down, create mobility and strength into that hip. Reset at the top of each push-up. Focus on a strong, stable core, making this a moving plank with hip mobility. TRX Spider-Man push-up level 3. On this level, the unsuspended leg will remain elevated the entire movement, requiring additional core stability, resisting rotation in the hips and core, still working from a strong plank position, lowering down into a push-up under control, bringing that unsuspended knee up towards the arm, creating mobility into that moving hip, strength and control in the core and shoulder. Suspended legs stay straight throughout the exercise.